Good evening. We are sitting here tonight with Elizabeth Capone-Newton, a Master's in Public Health student at Columbia University in New York. So welcome to the show, Elizabeth. As you know, I retired in December, but when I heard about this Participate in the City project, I just had to come back for one last show. Tell us about the project.
It's a pleasure to be here, Larry. Thank you for having me. Professor Mindy Fullilove at Columbia's Public Health School has all of her urban space and health students. There are about 30 of us documenting some way in which we've engaged in the public life of New York City.
And your projects in particular?
I worked with a group of predominantly Dominican young people in Washington Heights, who were taking part in a community photography class. As part of the class, they took pictures about health issues facing their community.
So these young people were taking pictures of people in their neighborhood suffering from disease?
No, Larry. Actually, the way we approach understanding health with these projects is much broader than just the presence or absence of illness or disease. But I'm glad you mentioned it because that is a common misconception about health. We are actually seeking to understand the many spatial, contextual, relational and historical factors that have the power to build up and/or break down the health of cities and those of us who live in cities.
That sounds very theoretical, Elizabeth. Can you give an example of this broadly defined health you were talking about so the viewers and I can really understand?
Of course, Larry. The youth in our photography group took pictures of things in public space that they felt influenced or affected health. For example, one recurring theme was trash overflowing city trash cans, trash awaiting pickup near a local school.
I understand. So with trash the main issue is sanitation.
Yes, part of the issue is the timeliness of trash pickup in low-income areas. However, the youths identified other issues. They questioned the amount and type of waste being produced in the first place and linked the amount of trash to a cycle of unhealthy consumption. They had concerns about the quality and quantity of products marketed to poor people of color in neighborhoods like theirs.
It sounds like this area, Washington Heights, is facing some serious problems.
True, although if we only focused on the problems we would be missing part of the story. Even in the face of challenges, such as the rising costs of residential and commercial space, there are creative responses. One young man in the group took a picture of a local tailor shop, located in the basement of a residential building, set back at least 50 feet from the street. In his words, "Everybody is trying to have a business anywhere." The group felt that this type of small, low-overhead business was a very positive thing for their community. As another member of the group explained, this is a good thing because you can just walk out of your building and what you need is right there. You don't have to go far away.
So is small business the public health solution you and your classmates in Professor Fullilove's class are proposing?
Well, Larry, it is tempting to believe that there could be just one solution to all of our urban health problems. If only small business could be that solution. But no, as our professor is fond of saying, there is no magic bullet. What we strive for instead is to support each other in weaving a web of interconnected solutions. This starts with exploring how what at first may seem to be disparate issues, for example, trash and small business, are actually connected. Where are goods produced? How are they packaged? Who do we buy them from? How is the waste disposed of? And how does each part of the cycle impact our health? When we make space for asking these sorts of questions, we create the foundation for coalition.
Well, Elizabeth, we are just about out of time for tonight, but I want to thank you for sharing about the Participate in the City project. This idea of health being about more than disease, well, it has given me and our viewers something important to think about.
Thank you, Larry. It has been a privilege to be on your show and especially to be able to share some of the very insightful thoughts and observations of the young people in New York that I had the opportunity to work with. It is often the people with the least social status or education that have the most to teach us about how cities really work and what health is. I am glad you chose this story for your first show back after retirement.